Without the NEA, Charleston would be different, and America would be different. You know, we're a young nation, so developing our culture, the American culture, and the American arts component of our culture, it's been so vitally important that there be a national home for supporting ideas, initiatives, creating opportunity for communities to solicit assistance in initiatives. In Charleston, whether it's Plato Festival, design grants that we've gotten, the support our symphony orchestra has gotten, our other arts entities, and certainly we've benefited from the Mayor's Institute of City Design, but without the National Endowment for the Arts, this would be a different city. Without the National Endowment of the Arts, there would be no Plato Festival USA. There would be no Mayor's Institute for City Design. That small federal agency has really changed our country in so many wonderful and positive ways. If you're the mayor and you're representing the people that elected you, you have responsibility for them. And so you have the opportunity and responsibility to be shaping your city, that the design of the city, the public realm, enhanced everybody's quality of life in that city. And so with that understanding, I knew then that I had this huge responsibility to make sure that every decision that affected the public realm in the city of Charleston was guided to produce the best possible achievement, the best human scale, the most attractive, the most greatest contribution, to the quality of the city. I always ask my co-workers here, if what we're working on passes a 50-year test, that is, 50 years from now, will what we're doing be admired and revered? Or is there a chance 50 years from now people say, why in the world did they do that? Or why didn't they do this? So it was that felt understanding that you have the power and the responsibility to shape the future of the city. A city should be for people, and cities need to be bustling with people. It is an ecosystem, so it is in the design of the buildings and the uses to promote that pedestrian activity. And then a city comes back to life. Without the National Endowment of the Arts, there would be no Mayor's Institute for City Design. I've said the equivalent of mayors are usually smart. They got to get elected. They love their city. To be effective, they've got to be quick studies. Whether it's a current problem is a crime problem or drug problem or whatever, or school issues, they quickly become facile. So if they come to an institute where all they have for 2.5 days is to think profoundly about their role as being the city's chief urban designer, then that same quick study capacity they use in other things, that happens. And the endowment agreed to fund it. So we had a small group to spend a couple of days discussing how it would be organized. Because it wasn't obvious. We could have had the mayors come with staff. No, don't want any staff. The mayor's got to be by themselves. Well, mayors and city managers, no, the city managers. How many? Not too many. 8 be about right. So we designed it correctly. And so it was good design, and it hasn't changed at all. It's the same format. It works perfectly. It is so thrilling to me. If I go to a conference and mayors meeting, I could spend the whole time just having one mayor after another come up and say, Joe, let me tell you what we did. We went back and did so-and-so. They see their city is something that they have a responsibility for, not just in keeping it safe, which is important, or children learning, which is obviously both very important. It is they have the responsibility of making it a great place. And it's thrilling. Without exception, they'll say, Joe, that's the best meeting I've ever gone to. That is the most important 2.5 days I spent as mayor. It changed my life. I wish I'd gone sooner. The National Endowment for the Arts gets credit for Spoleto happening because they gave a grant to Giancarlo Minotti to help him find a place in America, and then made major grants for our first festival and festivals since then. But for me, what I saw was that it was a chance to be a great city. Great city has nothing to do with international prominence or any numbers of peoples or anything like that. It's just city doing something worthwhile that benefits itself and others. So if this comprehensive arts festival could be in our city for 17 days and force us to upgrade our act, if you will, that we were going to help produce a world-class arts festival, really at the top of our game, accept that responsibility, and there's always a chance of failure. Then if we did that, for the city, the dividends would be huge. I knew that it would robustly add to the quality and quantity of arts, performances, and organizations in the city. It's interesting, some of the local arts groups resisted Spoleto because they saw it as a zero-sum game. It would take audiences away. I said, let's go build audiences. You bring something like this, the symphony will have more patrons, and the art galleries have more patrons. Without Spoleto, Festival USA, Charleston would be a very different place, because it did all that, and then people came to our city and saw the energy of the city and the beauty of the city more robust with this comprehensive arts festival going on. And then it just, got better and better. Minotti knew that a great arts festival needs to be something that the whole city embraces. And so the first year we had what we call mini festivals, a little side festival here and there, and then we came up with the concept of piccolo, and the endowment was very helpful in that as well. So lots of the piccolo Splato's performances are free in public spaces or very low cost, and we go out to senior centers and places like that. So any citizen of the metropolitan area, they feel like they can participate in it. Because overall there's like 650 performances going on, Spoleto and piccolo Spoleto. Then the whole community, the kids, and their great-grandparents are engaged in it. We have concerts on the steps of our customs house that overlooks the harbor by the Waterfront Park. And, and there are several thousand people there. It's free. Hearing a great symphony perform would not be good if you had a festival that seemed to be some kind of elite event. That's not what Spoleto is. Because what it does, and then what piccolo does, the whole community celebrates it. The arts, at its core, are about someone or some group of people seeking and expressing themselves, do it perfectly. That's what they're trying to do. Whether it's their voice or the violin or their brushes or their typewriter, whatever, these creative people are doing the best they can to excel. You expose a community to that, then it makes the citizens of a community less apt to accept mediocrity in whatever they do, whether it's their personal lives, whether it's in community initiatives or nonprofits, or whether it's in education or whatever. The arts expose people to beautiful search for excellence, and that changes communities. It's changed Charleston. The arts are a thread that knit us together. You know, every human being needs beauty, and every human being might see it differently, but they need it. And when they come together and experience it, and the beauty can be in the beauty of a park. It can be the beauty of a building. It can be the beauty of a choir. When they're experiencing that together, then it's just so much more reinforced. We're sharing this. You know, we've shared a moment. When the waterfront park was first being built, we did one part of it, the first part, a little pier. And I was going by there one morning, sunup, I was jogging, and saw this man there sitting with his legs draped over the wharf. And I didn't bother him, I kept jogging. But I saw him a few weeks later, and he was, I knew him, he was very poor. He suffered from epilepsy. He rode a bicycle and shine shoes, and I saw him and I said, I saw you at the park the other morning. And he said, yeah, Joe. I said, do you go often? It hadn't been open that long. And he said, I go every morning. And I said, why? He said, because it's so beautiful. And so that, you know, you might say was a citizen with as fewer resources as anyone in the community. And so often we tend to think of beauty in the arts erroneously is something that the more educated we are, the more apt we are to appreciate them. But it's not the case. And that just reinforced to me in all of my work since then, this was quite a while ago, was that the arts, good urban design, insisting on beauty, great public spaces, and more, that when you do that, it's a gift to every citizen in every walk of life, everyone.